Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. Tough afternoon slate here, Andy. Not impressed with Tampa Bay Buccaneers' efforts defensively. Not impressed with the Seattle Seahawks' efforts defensively. It turns out home field advantage finally means something for a couple of these teams. At this point, just praying for the Raiders to win by only 3 and not 6, and that's not looking great. They are moving the ball with ease. I don't want to overreact to any of the stuff we're seeing today, but it's going to be so freaking hard, man. It is going to be
difficult.
So hard because a lot of the theme that I get as I look at the results after now week 3 is in the books for the most part is like the dog shit teams played like dog shit. The expected.
The Jets weren't good.
The Jets were awful. The Jags were amazingly got a gift of a touchdown to end the first half and still managed not to cover 7.5, which is impressive. There's been a lot of results today that have really tested my it's just trying to wrap my head around this. This is tough, man. This is tough. I don't think I have yet to learn if I'm going to have a winning or losing week. So far of my 5 plays, I'm 2-3. And I'm going to need the Packers and the Eagles to save my week at this point, or I will start the season with 3 straight losing weeks, which does not feel great, especially considering how much time and preparation we put into the beginning of this season. Some things bounced our way today in the futures market. Kansas City losing was pretty important ultimately. Baltimore, yeah. I wouldn't have minded a Baltimore loss there. That was probably the highlight of the day. The Justin Tucker 66-yard field goal after the not calling them on the delay of game.
Yeah, I might have had way more teasers. I might have way more tips. All right,
let's going. Let's spin it positive. I think every good teaser leg made it, right? So far this week, every good teaser leg is home.
Denver in a couple. I threw together a bunch of garbage ones, some 3 legs, some 4 legs. I have an 8 leg that's alive that I just threw Green Bay in for lulls, even though it wasn't very not Wongish. So, yeah, the Ravens would have been bad or good, depending how you look at it, for survivor pools. I used Denver in every single survivor entry. I went all in. I don't know if that's a bad strategy to just be completely out of all your survivor pools in week 3. If they screw up, I used Denver in every single one. It was just we got a field goal. It's good. I don't think you can lose the Raiders now, which is good because there's nothing worse than these Sunday. There's nothing worse than these Sunday ones where you're sweating it and spend way too much time on it.
Any Miami Dolphins plus 3.5 or better is a winner. And
anything I had live over is now
every live over is
I needed
cash,
that.
I didn't watch much of that Jets Broncos game. Did the Broncos hold on for you? Did they win?
Yeah, it was rough. That was a tough watch. Even Teddy was fine. It was hard to count that as a game. I wrote that as the Carolina and the Denver games. I'm like, do we count this as a real game? Felt like Kendall Hinton shit, where it's like, should we even use these stats? Should we count? It's 1-0 in the record books, but boy, that did not look like an effort from the other team. And you're playing against just a talent devoid, a roster devoid of talent. So it was it's rough for both of those teams, the Jets and the somebody brought that up, the worst New York team, and the Jets are a lot worse than the Giants, but the Giants are just losing in hilarious ways. The Giants have gone full Chargers, the offside thing. That was a way that the Chargers lose a couple years ago.
Yeah, so
pretty funny how they're losing to a really toothless Atlanta team today. We'll get to all those, I suppose. Quick, I do got to mention, I didn't get an entry together because I'm dumb. Maybe I'll do it while we're talking. But the Prize Picks thing for tonight for new users is $25
we got Laser Eyes Rogers.
Laser Eye Rogers. If you're listening to this in podcast form, just ignore it because it's too late. But yeah, just $25 free if he completes one pass. So that's not that hard. He can do that.
Yeah, I think he's going to do that.
Yeah, new users, free money, plus the 100% deposit match up to $100. We're both on that game tonight at plus 3.5 and plus 4. I think you have some 4.5, maybe even.
No, 4 was the best number I got.
4 is the best you got.
I got some money line though too, so I would love to see a Packers win. Really. I'm not saying need at this point, but I would really like a Packers win.
Herbert MVP takes didn't age too poorly, although Jesus, like Josh Allen kind of jumped. He jumped up in that race, I think, today. Ish. So
Tom Brady took a step back in that race today.
He did. Should we rip through the game real quick then?
Yeah, let's go. Go for it. Overtime? You give me your morning takes because the morning, I was in a great mood this morning. Things were going our way. Team USA was playing great in Ryder Cup.
I
did lose an absolute heartbreaker in F1 this morning. Lando, I don't know. You watching F1?
I did. I have it on the back burner. I didn't bet.
Lando was the best car in the race, best racer in the race in the Russian Grand Prix, and he was 2 laps away from winning, and a rainstorm just came flying through. He elected not to pit. Hamilton put intermediate tires on his car, and it was game, set, match. Hamilton 100th win in F1, which is impressive. But yeah, otherwise the morning losing. The morning went pretty well for me. All said. What were some of your takeaways? Give me three takeaways from the morning games.
Like we said, the Jacksonville thing, it felt like, and somebody even DM'd me about that. It's like, what's wrong with Arizona right now? So they haven't turned the ball over. They're looking just fine. They just haven't converted a third down yet. And really, it probably should have been 7-7. That was just a really goofy way to, lose the first half money line push, I guess. Or if you had some Jags, crazy win for you. So Arizona was fine. They played a shitty team. They got back to it in the second half. The turnover, touchdown, special teams luck kind of sorted itself out. Tennessee, Indy, I played that late. I made that value once it got down to 4.5. I went back and forth, ended up playing it late. I put it in at BetSpurs. So if you follow me on there, you saw it, and I guess it was a winner. But man, I don't know if that felt like a good winner. The Indy went 3+ in the turnover department, didn't cover. Just wasn't getting it done at key moments, and Tennessee wasn't closing the door there. And then probably my biggest, outside of Josh Allen, is back. He's not broken anymore. That's supposed to be a decent defense, and he made him look silly. But really big ups to the Detroit front seven. Not sure I could name a lot of those guys, but not only getting pressure on Lamar, but also some of the linebacker play when he would get loose, and yes, he rushed for a bunch of yards, but there are a few key plays where it's like, all right, he's going to get loose here, and a linebacker would come up, hold him to 2, 3, 4 yards rushing. And I was super impressed by Detroit there. Mm-hmm. Probably should have won the game. Thankfully, they didn't. Yeah.
Josh Allen being back, but again, they were still they scored 43. They almost got the over by them themselves. Washington's defense remains enormously suspect, but it was still, I felt like they left some points on the field.
Yeah, so, and that's the thing too. It's a combination. It definitely was a kind of our guy Femi here is asking, is it, is he back or does Washington defense suck? The answer of most of these questions in the NFL is probably both. Both things are true. But the fact of the matter is, he was making plays today. He looked good. And, Washington is probably grossly overrated on their defense. They did stink it up a little, so.
There was a lot of stinking it up on defense today.
It was messy. A lot of tipped ball interceptions, a few quarterback gets hit interceptions. And obviously, 75-yard field goal attempt, maybe not the brightest thing for Kingsbury. And then, the biggest noon game was obviously the Chargers getting that win. Wow. That was awesome. I was really pulling for them there. Plus that's another game where I found a few spots to hit some live overs, and it was looking kind of shitty until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, there was a couple interesting consequential. So the market was moved hard in favor in favor of Washington, also moved in favor of Kansas City, and both were the wrong side for sure. Buffalo was the right side in that game, no doubt. And the Chargers were the right side in that game, no doubt. Interesting note on that Chargers KC game. I don't know if you saw the very, very end, but the Chargers had a nice drive into field goal range. Would have kicked the game-winning field goal. But
weird choice.
They instead go for it. We're going for it on 4th and 4, 5 yards back, going for it on 4th and 9. Convert. And in fact, take it right down to the goal line. And then, they score the touchdown without really taking a ton of time off the clock, giving the Chiefs the ball back with some time. But I got to give Brandon Staley, ultimately, I got to give him credit, because when you play the Chiefs, you have to go for the jugular. You cannot fiddle fuck around with those guys and expect to win, particularly when you have a kicker that looked like he was dying. He was dying to blow that game. He was going to figure out a way to do it one way or another. And
that's why I didn't mind the 4th down calls at all. They were good play calls too. And that was probably a good theme for the early games, was teams making good decisions to go for it on 4th and then rolling out just horseshit plays.
Yeah,
just
right.
Horseshit plays. And what he rolled out, those were 2 good plays. The biggest decision that flummoxed me was like, hey, let's try to throw it in the end zone right away and see if we can give Patrick Mahomes like 30 seconds to tie it up, because that's never screwed anyone over ever. And he didn't have much time. I don't want to like dog on Patrick Mahomes, although that interception wasn't great. But like 2 weeks in a row, Patrick Mahomes with the ball in his hands with some time, and nothing comes of it.
No, actually, your major takeaways from that game about the Chiefs are the things you thought were a problem with the Chiefs continue to be a problem. The secondary wide receivers outside of Hill and Kelsey are issues. Like, there was catchable passes that Pat Mahomes threw that either fell incomplete or ended up getting intercepted. That were huge momentum swings in that game. Similarly, Clyde Edwards-Helaire continues to not be able to secure the football, and just in general kind of sucks. That's not great. There's a lot on the shoulders of young Patrick Mahomes with his Travis Kelce and with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill out there as his principal weapons. Defense still suspect. This was a bad loss for them because they're at home, 7-point favorites. They were bet this week from 6.5 out to 7. Like I said, that was a non-trivial move in their direction. And it was the wrong call. Atlanta was the more bet side over the balance of the week. That was the correct call.
That was my biggest regret for not betting. Like, I showed a little bit of value, but after the first 2 weeks, it wasn't easy to take an Atlanta bet, even against New York. Like, you just couldn't do it. Big points in that game. It looked like this wouldn't have been good anyway. Like, this was a game to not bet.
There were 4 games though that you had numbers on the dog, and it was like, no, can't take it. And I think they went 2-2, right? Actually, 2 and 3, because if you felt that way about Houston and took them, they didn't cover. The Jags didn't cover.
I saw people feel that way. That the Jets
did not cover, and so those were 3 losses. Ultimately, Detroit did cover, although at times it felt like that was going to land outside the number. And then similarly, Atlanta won outright. So Atlanta was a bet side. That was a winner. New Orleans was a bet side. That was a winner.
Who got hurt for the Raiders just now? Somebody in the chat, fill me. I got the sound off here. Fill me in. But yeah, no, I agree with you there. And like the Jets and the Falcons were probably the ones where it's like, man, this number's probably too big, but there's no chance I can bet those. And if I would have, I guess I would have just juiced out. Because
you know what else?
Yeah, you can't bet the Jets right now. It's pretty rough.
I can't believe we've missed the biggest takeaway of the entire morning.
The Bears being super, super bad.
No, Browns defense finally finding some form.
We knew they were
Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year campaign starts today. 4.5
to the right
sacks. 4.5 sacks. He was amazing, and it was against a mobile quarterback. And some of those sacks were really, really impressive. If he can put like 3 or 4 weeks like that together, that is game, set, match. He is your DPOY. I don't even really know who else is in the discussion right now. I'm sure there's some other players that
really.
Chandler
Jones has tailed off from his week 1 performance. Biggest takeaway there was like, it's like we had fucking amnesia. Like everybody before the season was like, oh, Fields is going to be good, but man, that offensive line, he might get killed. And then, this week, everyone's so excited. Justin Fields is starting. Yes, the new era. Everyone's so excited. And then he goes out there and gets sacked 9 times.
Yeah.
Obviously a couple people on that defensive line had big games. He had like 50 yards passing. His rushing total went under by like 300%. Like nothing went right for the Bears. Honestly, the Browns didn't even play that good on offense. It was a semi ho-hum game. OBJ looks fine. Big takeaway there. He looks like he's healthy.
Yeah, he does. Browns and the Bengals both had kind of ho-hum offensive games and still won really without a sweat. The Bengals were pretty heavily bet side this week. That ended up closing 2.5. So that crossed 3. And that was the right move. So credit to whoever was heavy Bengals this weekend. Similarly, I guess ultimately Cleveland was bet day of. Did you see that came back from 7 to 7.5? So I was going to say Chicago was bet this weekend, but ultimately that closed back in favor of the Brownies. So some of the late market movers had a nice day today, I would say. Just kind of looking and evaluating. Totals continue to be almost entirely dictated by the way the game is being refereed. Am I overreacting?
No, I mean the refereeing has been weird. I don't want to say it's been against us. It's been weird. It's been stupid.
Difficult to put your finger on what's going on. Yeah.
And the Chargers, despite their wins, still had some ugly, I'm not saying they got screwed over. Like those were clearly penalties again, but it's like, man, you got to clean some of this stuff up. Hopefully that's what they work on because they have a real opportunity to win that division, even though it is, till further notice, it is Denver's division, which is something else. The Amazing. Denver Broncos. Yeah.
Let's not let
the
us.
Chiefs and
let us.
If the Raiders hold on here, are the Chiefs in the basement?
Yes.
That's silly. I know it's 3 weeks in. We're not really overreacting.
It doesn't matter if the Raiders hold on or not. The Chiefs are in the basement. They're 1-2, buddy. They are 1.
Yeah. Raiders are. For some reason, I thought the Raiders were 1-1. Yep. So
the Raiders are
go Dolphins.
The Raiders are now tied 28-28. I guess if the Raiders score a touchdown, the Dolphins isn't safe. So I've made a mistake there. Somebody brought up that there was an opportunity for a scoop and score. Andy pointed out, I think very correctly, that they changed the rules in overtime, that any turnover is basically dead ball, game over in overtime. If you have the lead.
Field goal, touchdown. That is
field goal, touchdown is rare, but it happens. And there are now 2 minutes and 49 seconds for the Miami Dolphins to rip out the heart of the backers, which is just insane. I think, honestly, a fair result here is a tie. Do we agree?
Honestly, I have some win totals under for the Raiders. Ties as good as a loss.
Ties as good as a loss. Yeah, I think that's the right result here. We'll see if they ultimately win.
I have just a couple quick more things. Yeah, like the Denver game's barely worth talking about. Denver looked just fine against a dead team. This game has been fun. Miami probably a little overrated.
Hey, who are the worst 3 teams? Who are the worst 3 teams in the NFL?
Oh man, I would have said the Lions before this game, and maybe they still are.
It's the Jets, the Jags, and the Giants, right?
Jets, Jags, Houston.
Oh yeah, Houston. Yeah. Houston plays hard though.
Yeah. Do they? They scored 9 points.
I really just wanted to say Jets, Jags, Lions because those are the 3 Broncos opponents so far this season.
That is fair. Yeah, the Broncos they haven't played anybody.
They have not played anyone.
No,
literally.
haven't.
That's the definition of they haven't played anyone.
I know. I did make that joke about the Jets, though. I'm like, the Jets have, they're doing bad, but they did have to face Darnold in a new system.
Yeah, like
a rookie quarterback, and then Teddy covers.
I mean, here's the deal: Broncos and Carolina Panthers are in the exact same position where they are going to continue to win games, and they are still verifiable frauds. Certainly they are frauds. And certainly they will continue to find wild ways to win games.
And I don't know on Denver yet, just because sometimes playing bad teams can be a really tough way to evaluate if a team is fraudulent. Like they have good receivers, they have competent quarterback play, they have a good defense.
If Kansas City was going to Denver week 4 and they were laying 4 points, would that not be your almost obvious that's the best play on the board? Would you lay 4 with Kansas City against Denver? In a heartbeat, you would.
This version
Anything
of
under
Kansas
a
City?
touchdown.
I'd probably make the number like 5.5. I don't know. I'd have to look at my shit. All right, KC is
in Denver.
I haven't done any downgrades.
I don't. When they go up against a bona fide offense, we're gonna find out.
I make it 5.5 in Denver. Yeah, I'd play it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get a better sense as their schedule gets more difficult. But both of these teams continue to kind of catch a lot of breaks. So it may be a while until we really have any clarity.
We had that conversation around Carolina, Arizona, and Denver this week. We said we don't think these teams are that good. They're good. They're not great. But we're not going to be able to find that out this week because they just have such low-grade opponents that they're probably just going to win, look decent doing it, and the final scores aren't going to be indicative of, is this team a threat to do anything in the playoffs? So
Denver's laying points. Denver's laying points at home against Baltimore this week. That's an interesting spot. Arizona is catching 6.5 against the Rams this week on the road, and Carolina is catching 5 probably. We'll see when that opens, but actually, they're dealing with a bunch of injuries, so that might be an easy one to stay away from.
Are the Rams just better than we hoped or better than we thought? Like, were we just dead wrong in the Rams? Or Tampa just looked unprepared. Like you said,
for this game,
super unprepared.
Yeah, I mean, for this game, the game state did not play well in favor of the Buccaneers. The crowd noise seemed to impact Tampa more than I thought it was going to. They looked like a little shaken by having to deal with a hostile crowd, and the fact that they have managed to get like serious crowd noise in SoFi is like somewhat shocking. Like, it's not something I would have guessed at all when we started the season, or really just in general. Like I would not have guessed that the crowd noise would have mattered in LA ever for any sport, let alone NFL. But it seemed to. But you're right. You're right. The major takeaway was
the injuries sucked for them.
The injuries sucked for them, but Tampa's defense was poor today. Like I'll probably grade them out as a D-ish, right, in terms of grade. And a ton of it, I don't even want to say that, like, it's not a matter of LA came in with the good plays and a bunch of stuff we haven't seen, and they really, like, executed perfectly well. And, like, oh, my God, who could have seen this coming? Like, basically everything that LA ran in that game was exactly what I would have expected. And still Tampa Bay looked like they were completely caught off guard by that, which is confusing and frustrating, and has me asking lots of questions about Todd Bowles and his, the way he prepared this defense for this game. I don't know.
Being down some injured secondary players doesn't help. But at the same time, if you've watched the NFL for the last 10, 15 years, which I'm assuming Todd Bowles has, Arians has, like, there's one guy you don't let get behind you in your secondary for like the last decade while he's healthy for the first 6 weeks of the season. Mm-hmm. It's just Jackson. Like, what was that? Like, you have to be watching him. It's like when you have Lamar. Oh, Lamar might run. We should know this. He's a running quarterback. Hey, Deshaun Jackson might run a 1. He might just run as fast as he can down the, and put a move on somebody late. Like, you need to keep your free safety over him. So I don't know. Yeah, Gruden should just kick the field goal here. I'd agree. That, although if you're holding a Raiders minus 3.5, this is nervy times for you, I suppose. And true, yeah, you're the opposite of that. So we'll let that game kind of happen as it happens. Seattle. I've said this last week. I said it when we bet on Seattle. I said Kirk Cousins has looked really good, and he kind of has. And he did again. We made the joke in the offseason, like, Kirk Cousins is like, he peaked after a couple of years and then he just stayed there for his whole career. And it's like he took a little step forward here. And maybe the run scheme was more important than the name on the back of the jersey, because Madison looked just as good as Cook, I guess. Like, he was fine, especially in some of the passes they were throwing him. Like, big part of the passing game. Jefferson and Thielen are great, obviously, and the rest is history. Like, I was really unimpressed with the offensive game plan from Seattle. I said this off the air a little. Like, you're not too dissimilar from Arizona. Just do what Arizona did and score a bunch of points. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, why didn't they? Yeah, fuck, man. That game sucked. Seattle from 17-7 up to losing 30-17. So 23 unanswered points that you gave away. And oh, by the way, like there were probably some people who had over tickets that were very, very angry, right? That landed 47. How? How did that game land 47? Yeah, wild one. Yeah, man. That I don't have any major takeaways other than Seattle's defense is still very poorly coordinated, apparently, and the Jamal Adams giving up all those future assets for that player and seeing what this defense looks like, kind of trying to build it around him, is not impressive. The Pete Carroll experience continues to be frustrating if you're anyone, if you love football or you like Russell Wilson. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. No, last
one for me before we get to the look ahead lines, which maybe we shouldn't be betting at this point. Jesus. Big Ben, done 3 years ago? He looked rough today. He can't move. Carson Wentz was more mobile than him on his broken ankles. This was ugly when he got hit through that pick. Just a couple of the sacks. He doesn't even have it where he can just brush off some of these would-be tacklers now. He's in a. It's not like they have a good option though. Like
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to take a little more time for this to unwind and for it to be happening.
I thought 7-8 weeks. Yeah, we kind of said this was going to happen. Not in September.
2. How many weeks away are we from Dwayne Haskins? 2, 3? I mean, it's around the corner. It is. It's around the corner.
I thought they were just kind of leading up to it with the pec injury. Like, oh, he's got a pec injury. You might have to play Haskins a little bit this week. Like, you build that in for, we might have to pull him at like halftime and put somebody in.
Yeah. Yeah. My last takeaway, the rookie quarterbacks this year, that group of 5, expectations may have been set a little bit high. Were you gonna say Davis Mills or Trey Lance? No, we haven't seen it.
The best one is Trey Lance by attrition.
Yeah, by attrition. Yeah. And honestly, we were joking in the preseason about the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Like, no, for a non-quarterback to win it, like all of these guys are going to have to miss. And yes, there's still plenty of positives you can point to for Mac Jones.
Jamar Chase took a big step forward in that market.
Jamar Chase did, but like he's going to be inconsistent this year. No way. I don't think you get a full season of production out of him that warrants Rookie of the Year. Maybe you do, but I don't know who the favorite ought to be right now. I guess it's still Mac Jones, but Fields needs a lot of reps. Lawrence needs a lot of reps. Wilson needs a lot of reps and a shit ton of help before those 3 guys. It's going to be a long season for those players, those franchises, and there may be times to bet on those teams as we get later into the season. But if all you've been doing to this point in the year has been fading the rookie quarterbacks against the spread, you are having a wonderful season of betting. I mean, it has gone swimmingly for you if you have blindly faded these guys. I think we have one cover so far from a rookie quarterback, and it was Mac Jones week 2 against another rookie quarterback. The Jets, so you probably didn't
rookie on rookie crime.
Rookie on rookie crime. Yeah, that's the only cover. Am I wrong?
I'm not going to go check right now, but like I'll take
Wilson. I guess depending on the number you got week 1 against the Panthers, you lost by 5. You could have gotten 5.
Yeah, that one got middled. It got middled. So
yeah, no. But if you've just been blindly fading the rookie quarterbacks at close, you are doing quite well betting on the NFL. So
sure.
Anyway, let's look at the week 4 lines.
Hey, guess what? We had a really, really shitty week on Thursday Night Football. Like, not worth watching. Like,
I want my second half plays. Whoa.
No.
I really enjoyed Thursday Night Football.
It was a shitty game. So we're gonna get rewarded with a good one this week, right?
Okay. Are we? What is it?
Jackson, Cincinnati.
Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Before we get into this, real quick, Thursday night football early in the season. Oh fuck! I just spilled beer. God damn
it! Thursday night football. I'm going to finish your thought because I know what you're going to say. Thursday night football is a good way to get injured. Like
it is a good way to get injured, especially early in the season.
Early in the year, you'd have less time to prepare. The injury rates go up on Thursday night, so you put teams that you don't have to worry about losing players that are good for the pocketbook of the league in the early weeks. You play the shitty teams in the early Thursday games.
That's exactly
we had Jacksonville, Tennessee, week 2 for like 16 straight years, and these sort of things happen. So Miami covers, Las Vegas wins. Drew is drunk. Party foul is called. Drew did go to war with Darnold. I wanted no part of that second half. I'm glad you got it for the brand. We got a win there, and we're going to go back to it. I have nothing to say pregame regarding Cincinnati Jacksonville outside of it's a lot of points, isn't it? For a team that's kind of not a fraudulent 2-1, but they're not a great team. They played, the Minnesota game was a little bit fluky, and then playing just a dead quarterback today. Making a case for Jacksonville.
You got a rookie head coach, second straight week, Thursday night football. Not many of these opportunities this season. If you have been betting against the rookie head coaches on Thursday night football, you are 1-0. Tough question to ask yourself here. Do you bet against the rookie head coach on Thursday night football, even though you're laying 7.5? The Jags pass rush is poor. The Jags defense is poor. The Jags coaching is poor. The Jags quarterback play is poor. This might be the worst team in football.
Yeah, they lost to Houston pretty badly. So I'm
decisively.
Yeah, I haven't done any adjustments for power numbers yet, but I make it like just shy of 6. That shows a little value on taking the points, but I probably will avoid that, especially at this point in the week. I'm not jumping at betting the Jags at 7.5. A bigger adjustment for the early games on Sunday was Atlanta, and this one's bouncing back and forth across 0. But Washington opened. I think look-ahead was just a Washington short favorite. Some Atlanta money came in, and that got thrown right back in their face. So this is probably just going to bounce right around pick all week. Washington's defense we've seen is a lot worse than advertised, and Atlanta is just a bad team. So I'm not sure what to make of this. My numbers unadjusted are pretty much in line. I have Atlanta a slight dog to Washington at home.
Okay.
Obviously, Washington getting a they have some sort of there's a disadvantage spot for them here. I feel like
it's their second week in a row.
Second straight road on the second straight week on the road
now
for
in
them.
Atlanta. Yeah.
So tough travel spot, but it is the Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons are as bad as we thought they were, and they won today in spite of that. And I kind of want to bet against them just because. But with the Washington football team playing as poorly as they are, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I don't think I can get involved in that game. That's got to be an easy pass.
Did you see the look ahead on the Bears over the Detroit Lions before the games went today?
I believe it was 6-point favorites, right? They were 6-point favorites.
Bears you saw today were a 6-point favorite over another National Football League team that has been cut in half.
Is it 3?
It's a juicy 3 right now, but it's a juicy 3. I'm sure there's
so
some 3.
Lions got hit right away then because I thought I saw open 4.
There's a 4 bet online, but I'm seeing a juicy 3 at Chris and I guess another week of all the nice things I said about the Detroit Lions pass rush, I'm not sure I should be laying the Bears even at home against a bad team with the game plan that we got called from Nagy this week. Yuck.
Yeah, seriously. And then Nagy shifting the blame post game. Like he wasn't part of the game plan, wasn't part of the preparation.
Who gave me this rookie quarterback? Who gave me this team? Like what is going on?
What are we doing here? Yeah, really. He's like, well, I was building something good here in Chicago, and they took away all my pieces. Where's Mr. Trubisky? Get out of here, dude.
He was running victory formation in Buffalo there.
Yeah, that's true. He was. Detroit, Chicago, easy stay away from me right now. No interest in betting that game.
The next game was a 6 as well, and it also moved 3 points.
Did it really? Tennessee moved 3 points in their favor. They're 8 or 9. They're 9. Oh wow!
I mean, it's shaded towards a 9.5, truthfully. So, the Jets' performance, coupled with Tennessee getting away with turning the ball over more than they are supposed to, has turned them into a 9-point road favorite. That's not how you make money, is it?
Are you gonna try to talk me out of betting the Jets this week?
9 points at home
against the team that can't muster a pass rush.
Tennessee has very little pass rush. Secondary is still sus.
Yep.
I don't see much of a situational outside of. I'm gonna have to look at who Tennessee plays next week.
Tennessee. I think they probably played Jacksonville, right? Or it's somebody else bad.
I haven't made my Jets adjustment. I will be just adjusting the Jets down again because I don't have them far enough. But I'm still not close to a 9. I'm probably about 7.5, 8 at home. That's a lot. It's just don't do it. One of these stinky ones is going to hit. Eventually, the Jets will be the Dolphins of last year, or 2 years ago rather, where it just gets adjusted out far enough, and you'll find there'll be value. But
do you want to know what the season? Do you want to know what the look ahead was for this game before the season started? Do you have a guess?
Like a 5,
2.5.
Nah, we thought the Jets were good.
Well, we didn't think that the Titans were good enough to go on the road and lay 9, right?
Yeah,
because they're not. They're not good enough to go on the road and lay 9. 9 is a bad number. I'm gonna fucking.
Yes, the Jets have. I mean, we found out Carolina. Carolina has a very good defense. Obviously, Denver has a pretty good defense. The Jets have been asked to play.
Were there any bad Jets injuries today in that game that you knew of? I mean, they went to altitude and they played a good defense, and it was in the heat and the altitude, and they scored 0 points. Like, I completely give them a pass for that. Coming home and playing a Tennessee team coming off of a big divisional win against the Colts. Tennessee next week plays Jacksonville, so really a much more important game in terms of getting to the playoffs.
I think you can wait for a 9.5.
You think this is going up? 9's juicy right now. It's -117. I think that comes back down. I want at least 8. I want at least 8.5 there.
I don't see a difference between 9 and 8.5. I'd wait to see which way the market shifts this one. I'm not excited to bet the Jets because it's a good number. It's a right number. And if they go out there and score, 8 points, you're going to.
I never really look at this sort of stuff because I assume it's virtually nothing. But do you want to guess how much vig you save? How many cents of vig you save moving from 9 to 8.5 at Chris?
I mean, it was like 4.
2 cents. -117 to -115.
Yeah,
2 cents. I guess so the half point around 9 is worth 2 cents. That's
very, very little. Not all points are created equal.
That's right.
I'm not going to stop you. It's probably the right side. I just don't have the stomach for it, and I'm also in a bad mood because we had a bad late game. So
yeah,
I'm probably just not going to bet anything. Minnesota was a 2-point favorite.
How Minnesota much of an adjustment there?
It went the other way. Minnesota won the game, but apparently what we saw from Cleveland and their defense is more important. Minnesota really hasn't played. Who's their week 1? Cincinnati. Who's the best defense Minnesota's played? Cincinnati? Cardinals defense has been giving up jobs.
Cardinals, Cincinnati, and Seattle are all bottom half of the league.
If we can get the test, Cleveland defense, even on the road, off of just a shellacking at a pick'em versus that Minnesota offensive line.
Yeah, Cleveland's the right side there.
Yeah, I'm actually going to bet that. I don't have that close. And I will give Minnesota an upgrade just because I like their offense a lot. Total 52. Probably all right.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the Seahawks couldn't get there with the Vikings today, why would the Browns?
I like the coaching better in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's true. But are they going to keep their foot on the gas, or are they going to get a lead and then play keep away, like they did today against the Bears?
Yeah, I'm not betting the total, although it is leaning towards going over. But yeah, Cleveland Browns at a pick 'em. I'm going to take
Cleveland.
So, yep.
Okay. All right. I'm in. I'm in there.
Colts Dolphins. both teams.
It's a big game, by the way, for Cleveland. Cleveland really needs this win because after this game, Cleveland has the Chargers next week.
Ooh.
They have a Arizona week 6, and they have Denver week 7. So what I had hoped would be kind of a soft start to the season for the Browns is actually now a bunch of tests, like some tough tests, actually. All these games
I like it.
Pretty competitive. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Colts and Dolphins both lost, but the Dolphins at least covered, and they looked like they were very live to win when they're up 14-0 at one point. If people are old enough to remember that. This adjusted down. I showed a 2.5 before the game at the Superbook, down to -1, juicy -1 for the Dolphins. The Colts are a bit of an enigma for me, especially with a quarterback who, I mean, the offense didn't look horrible at times, but man, he was hurting. He didn't look comfortable out there at all. Quentin Nelson was injured during the game. He got banged up. Kwity Paye was rolled out with a hamstring. And just Wentz looked really uncomfortable at times. So going back to the with the Dolphins, I'm not sure I like the Dolphins as a favorite, especially with the Brissett Brissett thing isn't like a thing. It's kind of the same, although Brissett is super captain check down, but they kept the chains moving at times, and obviously the defense is opportunistic. I'm just not champing at the bit to get involved with the Dolphins here, even at home. I'll have to look at that weather.
Jacoby Brissett had 49 pass attempts today
for like 125 yards.
49 pass attempts for 215 yards. That yard per attempt is not good. Yeah, I got no fucking read there, none. Similarly, this Giants-Saints line. The Giants are 8-point dogs heading to New Orleans. Presumably, they're actually going to play this game in the Superdome.
Maybe
8 points is so fucking. That's so much.
I got adjusted up. I make it 6.9, and I've made no adjustments for either team. I don't know what I'm going to do with New Orleans. You know, you got a couple pick sixes or a couple. Was it 2 pick sixes? It was 2 turnovers.
Well, they got a pick that put them on the 6-yard line, and
it was
6 points. So
it was a pick six. It was basically they took away. Basically 2 pick sixes. So I don't know if I'm upgrading the New Orleans Saints much. They've been a weird team to kind of follow, a very bad team to bet against apparently, and no interest in that. Taking the 8, I don't know. I'm gonna have to follow some of the New Orleans injury reports. We're seeing a little love for the Browns. Look at that ticked up. Maybe that was just you.
Maybe. I think it's
yeah.
But pick them or one. Come on, it's not gonna be a tie game.
All right, the Dallas game we're skipping for now because Dallas plays tomorrow. Look ahead on that is 5 over Carolina. If that offense looks good on Monday night, I'm sure that'll go up. KC heading to Philly.
Look ahead on that list.
Also plays
6.5.
Yeah, I'm showing 6.5. I make that about nuts on. I haven't adjusted anything.
Andy Reid returns to Cheesesteak City.
Andy Reid revenge game. Hopefully he's feeling all right. It sounded like it wasn't an emergency when he got taken, but he got taken in an ambulance. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, agreed.
Buffalo, Houston. I was 17. We said 17.5, I guess. We said maybe as much as 19.
Well, what's the difference? 2 cents?
Not much. When we talk about not all points are created equal, the difference between 17.5 and 19 is not much. This was 16.5 on the look ahead. Buffalo's offense looked very good at times.
Yeah.
And
they don't ever take their foot off the gas, which is why it's so fun to lay the points with them against a dog shit team. But 17.5 is too many. Lay the points with the Bills on the road against a team where they're like in the 7 to 8 point favorite range. Not 17.5 at home. Yeah.
Have you ever seen a 3-score favorite with a total of 47? This is like when Bama plays Citadel and it's like -50, total 54.
So you're telling me there's some clear and obvious correlation between the side and total here?
A little bit there. 47 is a low total for a big favorite. So those team totals are going to be, you got half of 47 is 23.5 minus. minus half of 17.5 is what? 8.75. You're talking about a team total of like 14.5 for Houston.
Wow.
Yeesh.
Yikes. Yeah, no opinion there. Cardinals Rams is an interesting one. Do you have an initial read here? The Rams are 6-point favorites right now. It's a juicy 6. The total is 53.5. Again, the Rams, they came to play today. They were very, very into that game emotionally. It was a spirited effort by them. Congratulations. But the defense still can be beaten. The Rams' third home game, and are they 3 out of 4 to start the season at home?
Yeah. SoFi unders, are they dead when these two teams meet?
Well, so far this season, 2 SoFi games have gone over.
Yeah. 53.5. It is the highest on the board so far, and that might go up.
Yeah, I would guess that goes up.
I'm not sure. I kind of want to take it
traditionally
because it's a fun one to cheer for.
Traditionally, Sean McVay owns the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Like just utterly dominates them. But I don't love laying 6 here. If you're getting, like we expected this to be 4.5 preseason. Nothing's really changed my opinion on either of these teams.
Fridays, I might have to do just betting look aheads. Jesus, there's a few of these that I would have probably just get busy. Yeah, I actually probably lean the Rams there. Just if they win, it's not going to be a close game. Like a lot of points there, and
probably goes to 7. You think?
It probably does. It's already leaning towards 6.5.
Okay,
it's minus 13 on the over there, or minus 13 on the 6. Not grabbing it, but definitely leaning that way. Denver, Baltimore, you mentioned a little bit ago. What do we got?
Baltimore Ravens are dogs in Mile High.
Getting a point at Mile High. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. Yeah, it was a little hot up there this week.
It's going to be cold. The weather is about to flip in the Rockies. It's going to be like in the 60s.
I still have – so Denver is 3-0. I joked about them winning the division, but I still would make Baltimore a favorite here, despite some bad play today. I don't know. Do you think you need to give Baltimore a downgrade this week? Or did they just look past the Lions? What is your takeaway? I don't think a good coach like that does that sort of thing. Like
the
Lamar just made some mistakes, and the injuries
were bad. I heard Lamar got the second shot this week, and so he was a little off just in general. I think
I might have to bet against Teddy covers at this number.
I think this is the Ravens. This is the right side. And I think it's pretty obvious. So this is going to move to them being the favorite. So we should probably take the plus money line now.
I gave them a downgrade for its second straight road game. And then a slight downgrade for obviously the little bit better home field up there in Mile High, but at the same time, I can't get this to Baltimore being a dog.
No.
Somebody asked me that today. Like, when do money lines open? I'm like, not like it sucks. I'm gonna have to take the +1. And actually,
no. A game like
no.
A game like this, I think the money line might be up at Bet Online, right? Or it will be by the time we're done with this. Yeah,
it's worth 4 cents from the one. So got money line, 2 money lines, just straight ups.
I guess I'm going to take the 1.5 minus 104 just because that is.
I'm not doing the calculations that fast.
Yeah, it's a little bit
the Broncos
better.
haven't played anyone. Like they're a good team. They're going to be fun, but this is a step up in class for sure.
Okay, so I'm on Ravens plus 1.5 minus 104. You found a money line?
Yeah, I just took 101. I did the expansion thing on Chris and just took them.
I see it. Plus 101. Yeah.
It's probably if they lose by 1, I'm gonna absolutely walk off a pier. The Buccaneers over the Patriots. Boy, this game will probably get some publicity, huh?
Yeah. I don't have a read. Do you? Do you think that the Patriots and the Buccaneers were impacted by looking ahead to this game at all today?
It was 5.5.
I feel like that's kind of a narrative-y bullshit in general.
Yeah. No, it was 5.5. It moved to 6. I make it a little more than that. Rookie head coach versus a good team, probably getting all their receivers back. I didn't get a Gronk update, like how he was feeling after the game. But if they're healthy, I'm leaning towards Tampa on the road, although that's a tough place to play too. So that's a lot of points, but I make it 7. I haven't done any adjustments at all for that. At 66 yards. Yeah, that's the thing. We got a good kicker for Baltimore too.
You want to know how long that record is going to stand? 1 week, because Justin Tucker is going to break his own record at altitude this week.
Oh yeah, he should be lobbying for that.
It's like give me a 70-yarder. Give me 70. Give me 70.
I think he took a little off that. Honestly, that was like a 3-quarter kick.
You know what else though? He took exactly the correct amount off of it because it hit the fucking crossbar and bounced in. That was
like Brad. He's like Brad Johnson on TikTok out there doing trick shots.
I was gonna make a Morikawa joke in terms of his approach.
Thank you, Ben Verone. Hollywood Brown dropped 2 touchdowns and one long first down. He had Troy Williamson hands out there. It was rough. So yeah, the Ravens should have won by quite a bit.
All right, I like our Ravens looking against the Broncos.
I like that a lot.
The Browns and the Vikings, but I like both of them. Ultimately.
Monday night, 2 teams that have moved around a bit in the past few years and constantly screw me up. I don't ever say the right town name when I describe them, but it's the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers.
No love lost.
Chargers laying 3. Yeah, former laying 3 here. The look ahead was 3. I make it less than that.
Dude.
And
this is going to be one of the more my prediction for this game. It's gonna be one of the more violent crowds that we see in an NFL game this season. The Raiders going to SoFi. Oh man, there's going to be a lot of Southern California Raider fans there, and whoever comes out to support the Chargers are going to be. There's going to be some butting of heads, especially at a primetime game on a Monday. Oh no!
They should cut off. They should cut off alcohol sales at the first quarter. Stabby.
Oh no!
He was so
Dan said Chargers is going to be stabby. It is going to be stabby.
Yeah, wear your hobo stab gear.
Over 1.5 stabbings is a solid play for that one.
Dude, that's like the over 2 Notre Dame players to be drafted.
It is going to. Femi's right. It's going to be a lot of Raiders fans there.
It is wild that what is it going to take? Like, will it even a Super Bowl probably won't just be like, oh, we have a fan base now. Like, it is just a bad fan base. They just can't get people, and moving doesn't help. But you think they'd be excited, and if not excited, there's just enough people in the Los Angeles metro area to fill that stadium.
Do you think the Chargers can back up their win against KC with the win against the Raiders?
It would be big because, it would be another team.
I have them power rated slightly better, but not 3 points better.
No, yeah, I have them essentially like a titch of home field, very little. My home field, most of these teams aren't even getting a full point for home field right now. But
my numbers very much
is very low on them.
Yeah, my numbers very much want this to be a shorter line.
Yeah, I make it a 1.23 point favorite. Yeah. 1.23.
Raiders.
So a little value on the Raiders.
Monday Night Magic. Can they do it again? To beat the Ravens head to head.
So it's leaning towards a 3.5. If this gets to a 3.5, I'm betting it.
Did the Raiders have 2 overtime wins already this season? They do, right? They beat the Ravens and the Dolphins in overtime so far this season. Both in Vegas. So far, the Raiders home games are 100% wins in overtime.
Haven't won in regulation. It's like
should
we do some first take shit
at home?
This team can't win in regulation.
Or do they need overtime to get a win? Is that the secret? Is that the secret?
I tried to do that a little today with the Chiefs dynasties. Over? Is it over?
Is it over?
Is it over?
All right. Well, let's put a bow on this look ahead here. I'm okay just holding the Browns and the Ravens for now. I see value on the Jets, and I will bet them at some point if my stomach can handle it. I see value on the Raiders, which I'm going to think about for a little bit.
Did you peek at any totals?
No, I did not. I mean, the totals are so fucking hard right now because it's how the game's refed. It's just tough to see a solid read on any of these. I mean, you want a total that's absolutely stupid. It's 45.5 on Thursday Night Football between the Jags and the Bengals. I
was gonna say that's 46 some places.
That is not a sharp number at all. There's no way those two teams ought to be in the mid 40s.
And truthfully, I don't like what Tennessee's offense has done, and with some injuries on their offense too. I think
that number is a little high.
Is a little high. Yeah. I mean, I'm not firing any of these, but I have some takes that the Browns Vikings might get bet up. The Cardinals Rams could get bet up to 55. If you like grabbing some stuff and you have the similar feelings, I don't hate those. Broncos Ravens probably right where it needs to be. Giants Saints.
You know, I'm probably going to play Houston.
Slow pace game.
I'm probably going to play Houston Buffalo over 47.5. Because again,
Buffalo
can get
Houston
that
getting hit. Houston getting hit down to 17. Oh man, the 17. The Sharps are taking 17.5.
Key number.
I mean, it helps every little bit.
All right,
that's the Jets week one. So
let's try to get a win. Let's try to get some wins, man. I need the Packers. Let's put a bow on it. I need the Packers to save my week. Really, if we're, they could do me a solid and get a win in San Francisco. That would be terrific. If not, we'll catch up at halftime and find a halftime winner. How about that?
Yeah, I'll see you at halftime. We'll flip out of here, and I'll be back in like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Disappointed we did not get a scoregami in that Raiders-Dolphins game. You know, 31 to 28 is not a scoregami. I'm not sure if you knew that.
So. Yeah.
Ben brings up a great point.